Hello there, sorry that this video is from my bed. I do that a lot. I just like to stay warm in my bed and cosy without putting the heating on, so that's why that's happening. Um, Rest assured nothing inappropriate is going to happen in this video, so no need to be afraid. So today I just wanted to talk about just to relate an experience from my day, in the hopes that it might just plant a seed, an idea in someone's head, and be helpful in some way. So I've been struggling recently. I think a lot of people have. People are very stressed. People are seem to be dealing with stuff. A lot of people seem to be dealing with something. And we're kind of all bounce off each other, I think. And if you see sort of struggle around you and a lot of sort of strain in other people's faces and things like that, I think it all goes in on some level, and you can end up feeling like, oh, you know, it can add to that feeling like, oh, everything's wrong, or people can snap at you and that can piss you off more than usual, things like that. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on out there, I think, right now. Like, people are a bit less light-hearted than usual, to put it simply. So yeah, I've been feeling some really uncomfortable emotions for the past few days, and I didn't. I've got a day off today where there was nothing I had to do, but I felt uncomfortable inside. But I decided that I would go outside and pick up some litter from the public spaces somewhere. And that was my. I decided that that was my objective today. I wouldn't set any other kind of goals, but I'm going to do that, even if it's only one piece of litter off the ground. My logic was, I'm not feeling in the best of places, but I can feel uncomfortable and still go and do something positive. Doesn't have to be anything massive, but it will just register in my soul that I've done something positive, instead of kind of staying at home and wallowing. So I did that. I went out, and a few knock-on events happened that lifted my spirits during going out to pick up some litter. So I went for a takeaway coffee, and two elders were going to cross paths with me, and I automatically stopped to allow them to go past. But they stopped and sort of waved as if insisting that I go past first. And I said, oh, thank you so much, that's really kind. And, I kind of smiled, and, it lifted me, and they seemed lifted by lifting someone else, if that makes sense. Sometimes these little interactions take a few moments, but they can really just bolster the spirit. So I went into a cafe, asked if they did takeaway coffee. And while I was waiting, the person I was with photobombed one of the staff trying to take a photograph of a bouquet of flowers, and it made her laugh. I thought it might annoy her, but it made her laugh. And I said to her, that's why we're having takeaway coffee, because I can't take him anywhere. He's always causing trouble wherever he goes. And she laughed again, and I just thought, oh, that's nice. We've just had we've just made each other laugh a couple of times, and we've had a nice interaction there. And I don't know why, but it helps me to just be really kind to people when I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not saying I always get it right or I always manage it, but to try when I can to be really kind. And so I was just, really courteous to the staff and stuff, and off we went. Picked up a few pieces of litter, that felt good. And we were walking back up from the beach towards the car park, and there was a middle-aged man sat there who looked a bit sad, a bit lost in thought. I thought maybe a bit down or worried. And he looked like he probably didn't want to talk to anyone. But I just registered it, and I thought, oh, I'll maybe try and make eye contact with him and just give him a smile. Sometimes even tiny things like that can just raise your spirits a tiny bit if you're not feeling so great. He might have been fine. It might have all been in my head, but I thought either way, it's not going to do any harm. So, and I was with a man, so I thought he's not going to think I'm trying to hook up with him. So there's going to, it's not going to cause a misunderstanding or trouble for anyone. But I'll try and just make eye contact and say, all right, or just something like that, So he did look up, and I said, bah, you feel your age by the time you get the top of this bank. Whew. And he looked down and back up at me, and he said, I'm bloody sure. And and then went back to staring off into space. Now, I'm under no delusion that this has changed the absolute course of this man's life or anything, But it certainly didn't seem to hurt, or it might have been a bit much for him, for someone to try to spark up a full conversation. But it was just a stranger kind of passing a pleasantry, and I do think these things register with people and can just help them feel less disconnected. That might not have been what he was going through, but as I say, it didn't hurt to do, and I just felt like, oh, I've gave that person a moment of connection that was positive and pleasant today. And you never know, it might have made a difference in his day, even if just very, very slightly, because all of these tiny little things can add up to make a better day, is my firm belief. So, so just from deciding to go outside and pick up a piece of litter, at least one piece of litter, while feeling uncomfortable inside, I've had quite a few sort of life affirming, connective, sort of uplifting moments, It's not always going to go this way. Sometimes you go outside and you think, I'll try and just have a little moment of connection with someone, and someone swears at you or something. I mean, it's not always going to go well, but more often than not it does. And if nothing else, I picked some litter up off the ground and stopped it being washed out to sea. So that is not a bad thing. So yeah, I hope that this kind of registers with someone, just goes in there on some level. It is a reminder of just something you can do if you're just feeling shitty one day and you just think, I can definitely do a slightly positive thing while I'm feeling this shitty. I can definitely go outside and pick up a piece of litter off the ground, even if it's something as small as that. I'm a huge believer in positive momentum, and you almost definitely will not feel worse after you pick that up off the ground. So it's just like a really easy, tiny act of positivity that is an idea that might come into your mind next time you're feeling some really uncomfortable emotion. And who gives a shit if you don't feel able to do your basket of ironing, or do the washing up, or handle that difficult email that you've got to send. We all have days like that where a lot of things we can't face, but on a day like that, it might just pop into your head that you might feel like, yeah, I can handle going outside and picking a piece of litter up off the ground and putting it in a bin or a recycling thing. So I hope this has been helpful to someone, even if you haven't really got it, what I was saying, and you just thought, oh, this chick's just totally wasted my time. I don't know what she's on about. And you've just managed to get some of your anger out by just feeling pissed off with me for wasting your time. I guess that's still positive. So hopefully this has been helpful in some way to someone out there. If not, well, I still haven't lost anything, have I? So take good care, and thanks very much.